Hi guys, welcome back. I am coming to you with a short extra bonus video here from Denmark. First I thought, am I going to make this video because it doesn't have much to do with the outdoors or with dogs. But I thought that this was such a cool place that I visited yesterday that I wanted to do something with it, because I thought this is absolutely worth it when you are visiting Denmark and when you are interested in history of Denmark and how the existence of Denmark started and what happened through time. So I thought that was really interesting. So today I'm going to take you along on this sort of a journey that I took yesterday, because next door is a museum here, and that is really a cool one. The museum is being called Tirpitz, and it goes from non-existing Germany, non-existent Denmark through the current Denmark, so current Denmark of today. And you can see all the development of Denmark, starting at the Mammoth and then Ice Age, stuff like that, and how everything has changes through time. So I'm going to take you along on this museum. I will do it on the hand by photos. I do have a few little videos in between, but I actually didn't take my camera because I wasn't planning on filming it or making a video about it. So when you are entering the museum, you are passing by two huge mammoths and their baby. So that's a really cool start. And then you're entering the museum, you're buying your ticket, you're getting a sort of a bracelet and a sort of a, it looks like a phone because it's a little bit weird. Everybody seems to be calling to somebody else, but you get a little scan device, and on the wall there are all sort of codes, and you can scan them and then you can listen to it and they will tell more about that specific scene that you are seeing right in front of you. And the museum is divided in several little sections. So the first section was actually one of my favorites. It's called The Last Mammoth, the First Human. And then you can see the evaluation from Denmark years and years ago, from the last mammoths that were dying at the current time, and how everything developed to reindeers and people living with reindeers, bears, stuff like that, and all growing towards what's been the development from animal kingdom to the human world. And that was really interesting. You could see some little videos. And they had rebuilt a lot of the animals from back there, even a mammoth. And man, if that thing wasn't true size, then those things were absolutely huge. And this was absolutely one of my favorite parts. I find it really beautiful with the animals and seeing how that section of Denmark has developed over time. The second section that you can enter is called Army of Concrete, and that dates back to the Second World War. And Denmark was involved in that war as well, really strong fightings with, for example, Germany. And in that section you can see the stories of people who were living here, really the locals, so that makes it quite interesting. You can see what happened to them and what they have done after the war, and now they are buried here in Blavant at the graveyard. So yeah, that makes it really interesting. Me personally, I did find it the least interesting section of the museum, but if you're taking the fact that it is really going back to the local history, then I think that's a really great addition to the museum. The third section of the museum is being called Gold of the West Coast, and that relates to the west coast of Denmark, so the section of Denmark where we are actually in right now. And with that gold, it's being meant amber, and you can find it here. It's locally being sourced on the west coast of Denmark, and it's really a big thing here. I think people are proud that you can find it here, and they say that if you are lucky that you can find some at the beach, and I think that we were lucky. On that, in the museum they also said, well, don't think that when you are visiting West Jutland, so that's the region here, for the first time on your vacation that you're going to find amber. I think that I was lucky. That was really cool. I saw something shining on the beach, and yeah, I think I had at bingo. At the museum I also bought this bracelet that's also from the amber. So those are the little stones, and on the beach you can find them in all different kind of sizes, but yeah, it is really a job, so to say, to find them, because not every stone, of course, is an amber that has the same color. So I found it really interesting. It dates back to how it started, where it came from, because it turns out that it comes out of trees, and when trees were falling down, it was going into the soil, and with the water it has been flooded all the way to the west coast, through rivers to the river Elbe in Germany, and that's how it ended here at the beach. So that's really cool, starting in the tree, ending up on the beach. And you can really see all kind of different stories about it, see all kind of different ambers, different sizes, different colors. So yeah, that was really worth it, and I was really interested. I found it one of the most interesting parts as well, and turned out that I learned a lot as well from all the little stories that you could scan with your little phone thing. And because when we were at the beach this morning, I could recognize the differences between stones and stones that might be amber. So yeah, that was a real cool section as well, very informative. And once you came out of that section in the museum, you could enter the Tirpitz bunker. And I must be honest, I found that a little bit creepy. It's not really scary, but it was kind of creepy because it was super dark. It was very cold in there. There weren't a lot of people, so I was in that section all by myself. And for example, when you are entering little hallways or little chambers, as soon as you enter it, they're starting to play some scary sounds, like somebody is coming after you. Some of you hear somebody walk. So yeah, it was fun, but a little bit tricky also at the same part. So yeah, it was a cool part to see. That wasn't the biggest part of the museum, so it doesn't take a lot of your time, but I was really interested as well. So you can have an idea on how it was of living in that kind of bunker in time of war, and how cold it must have been there, and how dark. And there was also a section that they tried to blow up, and you could see it still, the concrete and the metal parts were still hanging there like they were after the explosion. So yeah, that was really cool to see. And that brings me to the last section of the museum, and that was absolutely my favorite one. I absolutely love that one. It was called Stories of the West Coast, and it's also local stories from the West Coast here in Denmark. And I absolutely loved that section. I stayed there the longest, and they do play a 4D show that was absolutely beautiful. I will show you, I videoed that one, so I'm going to show you that at the end of this little clip. But that was so informative and so, well, it really intrigued me, and the stories were really good. They were local stories about fishermen and what happened at sea in storms and stuff like that, and treasures that have been found here. A teeth of a mammoth, for example, they found here locally, and a little bit on how life went here and how hard it was. And yeah, you could see a lot of local things, and that's what I thought was the most interesting thing, because I always find it nice to learn things about the region that I am visiting for vacation. So yeah, definitely my favorite one, the 4D show that they were playing it each half an hour, every 30 minutes, and I visited 4 times, 1 time to film it and 3 times I got back to watch it because I found it so beautiful, and I really would like to share it with you. It is about 5 minutes, so sit back, relax, have something to drink and enjoy the show, because it's really beautiful. It is about how Denmark started in the times of the mammoth, and then its evolution, development through the Denmark of today. So enjoy that video. Well, this was my extra video about the Tirpitz Museum. I hope that you liked it, and if you are ever near the village of Plevant in Denmark, go visit it. I can absolutely recommend it. It costs around 160 Danish crowns of entrance fee. That is around 21 euros currently, but it's absolutely worth it. I was there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock it closed, and I wasn't done. And I had 3 hours there by myself because dogs are not allowed there. In a lot of museums in Denmark they are, but they're not. So my mom stayed with the dogs in our vacation home. My mom is going to visit the museum later, and that's absolutely worth the price. You can spend whole afternoon there. They also have a little shop, they have a restaurant, so really good to spend your time over there. So I hope that I could give you a sort of a extra tip for when you are ever visiting this region of Denmark. If you like this video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel and notify the alarm bell, and then as always, enjoy the outdoors. We will catch you on the next trail. Goodbye.